Welcome, in front of me I have the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. So let's just get straight into it. We do have two places where I do need to cut my way into it, so one seal gun and the second one as well. Now, judging on the box size, we can probably guess that we do get basically everything that you'd expect from a premium device, which that means we get a charger, and by the looks of it, we actually might also, get a case. Let's go. So other companies, for instance, like Samsung, should really take note. This is how you sell a premium device, not the dog shit that you offer, which is just a phone and go have fun with nothing else. Now, one thing to mention, this case is actually not silicone like you might expect. It's actually just straight up plastic. Now, it is a very thin feeling case. You can kind of see like it just literally bends into it, but obviously still pretty decent that it comes provided with a device. And my god, what is this? Just this island. And this is the first time I'm seeing this device, and my god, that is a that is a, see if I can, I can literally hold the phone by this, and that is something. Anyway, let's boot it up, and while it's booting up, come on, there we go, thank you. And while it's booting up, let's also take a look at the charger, which is a 90-watt charger, which is like what, double what Samsung offers at in their best case scenario, because you know, Samsung is still scared that their phone's gonna blow up in 2024. For God's sakes, if your phone can't charge at 90 watts in 2024, maybe you shouldn't be selling phones. And obviously we get a cable, Type A to Type C. Okay, now the phone does have a bit of a curvature on the display, though it's very, very subtle. And it's not actual, like, you know, curved display like you might expect from something like this. So here you have like absolute curved display where the display is bent. Here I can't really say that is the case. I think it's just the front glass just has like a slant to it all around, but the display itself might be just flat, which is, I would say, actually a fantastic design, considering I'm an advocate user of gesture navigation, and the swipe gesture from here just feels so much better with the display having some curve instead of being like completely flat. So this, fantastic. Now, let's talk about the display a little bit more. So it is a 6.7-inch display with a 1440 by 3200 pixels. So it is basically a 1440p display, LTPO, AMOLED, 68 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, HDR10 plus certification, and a peak brightness of whopping 3000 nits, meaning you might stare at the surface of the sun, and this device might actually rival that. Great. Anyway, that is just a joke. Don't take it too seriously. Anyway, continuing on into the back, we have the absolute island. It's not a bump anymore. It's just a island, I would say. So that's gargantuan back. Houses a quad camera setup. And by the looks of it, all these cameras are what, 50 megapixel? Yep. Now, so all of four sensors right here are all 50 megapixel, and we have a wide sensor f1.6 to f4.0. Interesting. With PDAF and a laser autofocus and optical limit stabilization. Then we got a telephoto lens f1.8, optical limit stabilization, and a 3.2 times optical zoom. Then a f2.520mm periscope lens with PDAF and optical limit stabilization, along with 5x optical zoom. And then besides that, f1.8 ultra wide 122-degree field of view, dual pixel PDAF, time of flight 3D I guess depth sensor, which I'm kind of getting confused. Either it's ultra wide or both. Oh, or maybe that's just another sensor here. Nope, never mind, it shouldn't be. So in any case, yeah, we have a quad camera setup. Now with those cameras, you can record videos, at least with the back specifically, at 8K, 24 or 30 frames, or 4K, obviously up to 60 in terms of like normal recording, and 120 will be slow motion, and obviously you get all of that with 1080p plus even more insane slow motions like 480 frames, 960, or 1920 frames per second. And then if we flip it over to the front, we get a 32 megapixel selfie, wide one at 2.0, and with that you can record at 4K 30 60 frames, and obviously same thing for 1080p 30 60 with the gyroscopic electronic image stabilization. So those are the cameras. Now taking a look inside, well, talking about it, we're not going to be really looking inside. We have a 5000 mAh battery, which comes with a provided charger, unlike Samsung devices, which allows you to charge your device at the full 90 watts in 33 minutes up to 100%. That is supporting quick charge for standard. Then at 80 watts, wireless by the way, 100% in 46 minutes. So this device charges significantly faster without a cable than a Samsung with a cable. Still not sure why Samsung costs over $1,200 for the most part. We're talking about the most expensive one, and at certain cases $1,800, when the dog shit that they offer charges at like 18 watts. It's just a middle finger from the company at this point. But that being said, this device isn't cheap either. So it costs about 1,300 pounds, or apparently about like close to 1,500 euros. So that isn't bonkers price as well, specifically for Xiaomi. It is, I would say, a bit too high for a phone, specifically one that doesn't really offer too much in terms of some like wonkiness. Let's say folding phones did need to have some kind of folding displays invented for them. This is just a typical candy bar phone that is being now sold for 1,500 euros. It is a bit expensive, I would say. Now, continuing on with the internals, it does come with the newest processor, which is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so basically the highest you can get for specifically Androids. And at the very base entry, you get 256 gigs of storage with 12 gigs of RAM. And at the lowest end, it is also using UFS 4.0 storage type, meaning almost the best. Almost, I think it's like 4.1 is the best one at this point, but still, it is plenty fast for what you get in here. But still, considering there's if I remember correctly, like 4.1 or 4.2, if I remember correctly, and that is the case, for this price, I don't see a reason why this phone wouldn't come with it. So that is something that I want to point out. Now, like I said, this is the lowest end model. You can get this device with 1 terabyte of storage and 16 gigs of RAM, so it can get spec'd out pretty high. But that being said, there most likely isn't any expandable storage. Let's check it out right now. And yeah, you can just have dual SIM card. Sorry for that, needed to sneeze. Okay. So, best processor, pretty high spec. Anything else left here to say? I didn't mention we do have under display fingerprint sensor, which shouldn't come as a surprise, especially at this price range. So yeah, that's basically the device. So my last thoughts for this, the device feels premium with this leather, eco leather, I presume, back. Let's see. Yep, it's eco leather. So I honestly, I'll be the crazy guy and say I prefer actual leather for 1,500 euros. But you know, to each their own. Feels nice though. I don't want to, take any kind of points away from that because it's fake. It still feels pretty good to touch. The device build quality feels really nice in hand. We have aluminum frame by the looks of it. Let's see. We have aluminum alloy frame. And now there's also a titanium version of this, which would add even more to the price range, most certainly. But this one should be aluminum by the looks of it. Now, leather back and glass, we have, at least at the front, we have front glass shield glass. Now, this is the first time I'm seeing this kind of description for the front display, so not sure what that actually is yet. So the build quality, solid, feels really nice in the hand. It is a chunky device, specifically with this camera bump that you can see at the back. It is gargantuan. Let's put on the case so you can see. With that, you can actually easily just hold the device by this, like literally. So yeah, pretty chunky device. But all in all, if you don't, price isn't really an object here of any kind of problem to you, this is probably going to be one of the more feature-rich devices in terms of cameras, as this is basically what they're going for. There's otherwise no reason to have this kind of bump on your device. And obviously, outside of that, the device will perform as any other flagship should with the top specs that it offers. So, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful and informative, and if you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.